Aloha. Anyone else out there? We'll see if anybody else comes. I know Brad Thiel was out there. Brad Thiel saw the bat signal go out, but we figured, well, like, oh, hang on, I gotta turn this shit off. This is how impromptu it is. I was lucky to get the banner put together, and now I got the YouTube pulled up. So if you're watching, I'm sure you recognize these lovely faces, but if you don't, I'm concert buddy Chance, and I'm joined by arguably one of the best record collectors in the vinyl community, Jason Rojas.
The weakest record collector here.
I don't know about that. Humility. But, like a lot of folks trying to be first to market on giving our initial impressions on this UHQR triumph, tragedy, somewhere in between. We'll kind of get into that of the UHQR, the latest UHQR to drop and destroy my credit card account. A Love Supreme. Thanks to the folks in Salina. Is it Salina or Salina? I can't get confirmation. Do you know what it's called? Salina, Kansas?
I've been corrected a few times. I think it's Salinas.
Okay. Well,
or Salinas? Oh no.
There's no. I don't think there's an A. Yeah, I don't think there's a S. I don't know. All I know is it's the middle of somewhere in Kansas, like a lot of places in Kansas, and they make good records for the most part. Great customer service, very nice people. Brad, you wanted Buddy, you got Buddy. You got Sunday Buddy. It's probably not the best Buddy.
Let me ask you a question. Did you ever talk to their customer service by chance?
I have. I've called them. Yeah.
And then did they just keep going? They just kept going. I talked to a lady, and she just kept going. She just,
She was looking for a friend. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we just kept on talking, and then she's like, "I heard a dog. Where are you?"
Oh wow.
And then I was like trying to explain her, like, well, I moved from Minneapolis to Texas. And she was like, oh, thank God you called. You would have sent that UHQR to Minneapolis. I was like, ugh.
No.
Oh man, don't do that.
Hey, I see Bianco, who I think he's postmarked things from Salina. I'm gonna, David, if you want to jump up here, I don't know if you've got your UHQR yet, but that's kind of the topic du jour, is this UHQR by our friends in Salina. And Jason, you got yours today, you said, right?
Well, I got mine yesterday.
Okay, so did I.
I didn't. You cracked yours open because I saw you shared your Instagram post, and then I was kind of like, and then Caesar was like texting us too, and then I was like, well, I mean, I guess I better go open this up. And
listen, that's that peer pressure you can only find in the vinyl community when it's peer pressure to open $170+ purchase. Chauncey, I'm going to talk about wrestling if you stick around. We'll see how well I feel. This is my third vinyl community output today, so I had to. I think if I do anything too long, they're going to commit me. But David, I'm not getting a jazz UHQR, David. Wow. David,
I thought you were friends with some guy named Chad.
Yeah, come on. Well, we hope this doesn't get back to Mr. Cassom because he may be very upset with you. Anyway, now it's Nick. Nick and I were trading messages today. How's it going, sir? Good to see you. Anyway, so task at hand, topic at hand, and there's going to be so many videos on this that we're not the first, we're not going to be the last. We're just two guys talking about A Love Supreme, and I think we both can share the and correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, that when this got announced last week, it was kind of like shoulder shrug. What did you feel the same way? I thought you did, but correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I was surprised about the release of it and the timing, and especially after Pretzel Logic UHQR.
I mean, right back to back, yeah.
Yeah, some people already spent their money on UHQR Pretzel Logic, and now this comes out, and like you said, your credit card got hurt. I think we were all texting right in our group, and then I was kind of like on the fence, and then later when I thought about it, and then I'm like, this is a no-brainer. I love this record. This should be,
I think I was salty due to the pretzel, and maybe you felt the same way. Not because I didn't think it was like terrible or anything. I I don't know. We've talked about this offline that, you know, some of these titles are just a little underwhelming, a little uninspired sometimes.
Yeah.
And listen, I like Love Supreme. I got no G, and we'll get into that. But, you know, I'm just, you know, I keep going back to that famous line about pooping your pants or whatever the hell he said. And I got to be honest with you. I'm nowhere close to pooping my pants. I mean, I don't know what at this point, Jason, I don't know what it would take for me to poop my pants with some announcement, because I think I've just been dumbed down to the full Steely Dan, which I pre-ordered. I'm gonna be honest, because they got me. They got me. I got all the UHQRs. They got me. So now I'm a completist. The completist is taking over. So I'm doing those medical tests. I'm donating plasma, whatever it takes to afford this shit that they keep slopping at me. I'm doing it, but.
Well, I mean, you're not the only one. I bought into the whole Steely Dan UHQR too. We both may need a straitjacket for all this.
I'm starting to think maybe they'll put us in the same room though. That'd be nice. It'd be nice to have company. Hey Jason, how's it going, pal?
But I think like what you're saying, it's kind of like these choices, you know, like the Rhino, Van Morrison, the Jacko.
Well, you know, I listen, I'm going to out myself. I think I can say this. I mean, it feels uninspired old white guy stuff. Like, I'm just going to be honest. You know, I'm not trying to play any kind of like political stuff, but how about a little sizzle? How about something that it's been hard to find that, you know, because, you know, you always hear these stories about, that we found the tapes, or we thought they were lost to time, or surprise, they weren't in the Universal Fire of 2008. You know what I mean? Like something like that just makes me be like, all right, now I'm like a Looney Tunes character just salivating. Instead, it's, you know, it's who can we get the license for? And again, I'm not poo-pooing on, we'll get into Love Supreme, and Love Supreme's a, you know, top tier jazz album, but man,
so
I'm ready to poop my pants.
You're thinking like the timing should have been right. I mean, I would have done a Sinead O'Connor. I would have just rolled with that, you know. Bam, you know.
Well, I would go that far, but this is an album. So Love Supreme. Listen, I'm the last person who should be telling jazz history. I can just tell you my history with it, and that I like it. I like jazz. I don't love jazz. I appreciate good jazz. I appreciate all the great quote unquote classic titles, Sidewinder, Love Supreme, you know, the Bill Evans stuff. But I've also, I gotta be honest, I've been into this jazz resurgence in the last couple of years. So it's the best worst time to be a record collector, because they're reissuing and they're putting high quality reissues out there, but the volume, they're just doing so much that I think I've said this on some of our Surface Noise talks, like, man, getting that jazz fatigue. So to have another big title, UHQR, jazz title, let alone a title I already have 4 copies of. Now this is number 5. Man, it's something. What say you?
Well, you got to think about it. Like, this is what, the second jazz UHQR, right? Because the first one was Kind of Blue, right?
Yes. Okay. Two versions of Kind of Blue. That because the 33 wasn't enough. We got to hit you with the 45. But they got me. They got St. Louis money coming right at them. So what? I can't say anything.
But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. Like, when he released that Kind of Blue, was the 33 first, and then he did mention there would be a 45, right?
Oh yeah. Full disclosure, he was very transparent about it for sure. And even the number, it was like 25,000? I mean, it was an insane amount, but yeah, they already had me at that point. Once I went back to get the first 2 Jimi Hendrix titles, the stereo and the mono, I was like, they got me. They had me hooked. So I'm the last person.
Do you have the mono of that? Do you have the mono?
I got them all. That's like Pokemon. I got them all, Jason. I got them all. And
you know, there's only 2 that I don't have. I don't have the mono, and that's the Axis Bold as Love. And I don't have the Jethro Tull because I'm not into that record. I'm not gonna touch that record.
Well, I that was another one that, because I started with Kind of Blue, actually. I think, yeah, that was before. And so then I was like, okay, well, and it was so early enough in the run. I'm like, it was a lot different than, say, the one steps, right? Like, so if I was going to collect anything, this seemed to make sense. And unlike some other folks, not dogging, I kind of like the presentation. I like the box. I like the fake wood grain and I like all that stuff. So aesthetically, I think it presents value. Now, how much that cost and is it subject to the overall price ticket, I don't know. But I like it. The boxes, trash. But these, I kind of dig them. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, it was painful to go back and go buy Jethro Tull because that's Aqualung's not my thing. The Hendrix wasn't so hard. It was just hard to find them for a modest price. I'll just
hopefully you didn't pay too much. That the mono one's going for
Monopoly money. No, Monopoly money. Well, that's why I think, I don't know if I said this in our group chat, but I'm just like, if there's another uninspired UHQR, I may move off of them. I may just sell them all. I don't know. That was me probably being a little butthurt that I want to poop my pants, Chad. Come on, make me lose my bowels. But
so wait a minute, like you weren't wowed by any of these UHQRs you've owned so far?
Listen, I like them. I mean, Are You Experienced? I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the George Marino cut for $20. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think that was it better than that? Sure. But was it perception? Probably some of that. You know, it's hard to kind of separate some of the aesthetic and also the hype sometimes outside of, you know, again, that $20 George Marino is great. Get it. It's fantastic. Did I need it? Well, I was already 4 or 5 titles in at that point. Sure. But the Steely Dan, and I know David Bianco, hide your ears. Steely Dan wasn't like something I was super excited about. Yeah, I'll be very interested in Asia when it comes out. I guess at the end of September or maybe early October. I think they've pushed that back. Can't Buy a Thrill, great. I thought that was great. Even my wife, who's a Steely Dan fan, really was like, this is impressive. So I like what they did there, obviously, and maybe we'll talk about it later. The Pretzel Logic has just kind of been. You know,
we didn't do a Pretzel Logic thing last time we all talked.
No. It's just kind of a, to me, if you could describe it in one word, it's kind of like meh. 2 words, I'd say not bad. Okay. But again, like I knew this when they said we're getting the whole Steely Dan catalog. I knew that I'd have to swallow the medicine if that got me to Asia. And since I've already got these other titles, so be it. But I'm getting off topic. Like Chauncey, hang on, buddy. I gotta make you. I give people wrenches around here. Let me give you a wrench. Bam. It's a new practice. There you go.
You highlight Chauncey's comment.
I definitely can. There we go. Come back to me. Come back to me.
Now, Chauncey, I agree with you. Ascension would be great, or not great for people who don't like jazz. That'd be an assault, you know, on their hearing. You know, I don't know. Like free jazz, audiophile free jazz. I didn't know. I'm not sure. You know, I'm on. It depends. You know,
free jazz. I gotta have some sauce in me because I've found in my jazz journey, and again, I'm a borrowed novice. I'm very novice about a lot of things jazz. Free jazz is something else. It's an acquired taste. It's like that first.
I could recommend some like easier cuts before you go down like a, you know, a stunty path. just making that up. I'm just saying that. No offense, Stunty. It's just
poor Stunty. Stunty, I hope you recover soon. You probably won't see this, but I understand I didn't watch the presentation this morning until the end, but I understand you got bit by a snake or something. So Stunty, I hope there was someone, hopefully a beautiful damsel to suck out the venom. And if not, you only need 1 leg. Actually, people get by with no legs, so don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
I messaged him. He's doing okay. I think he's under some medication. You know,
unbelievable. That guy. What a life. That guy. I mean, holy smokes. Unreal. All right. So all right. Topic at hand. I'm talking a bunch of jibber jabber. So have you listened to the full UHQR at this point?
Yeah, I listened to it probably like at least by now 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
And then I initially was kind of, we messaged each other, but I'll tell everyone here, it's like I'm very used to the mono version. So it's much more of like, I wouldn't say a balanced mix because Coltrane sax is still a bit, you know, in the forefront, which it should be. Sure. It's a John Coltrane record.
Right.
But there's a part, I think it's like Pursuance, which is, I think, Act 3, where the drums come in, and that thing should be loud as hell. You should be pummeled by that. And then I was a bit underwhelmed by the stereo because I think I told you, well, when I opened up the package, I was like, cool, I got it. And then I looked at the thing, it said stereo. I'm like, what? No way, are you kidding? And then I was like, oh man. So when I get to like that act 3, I'm like, oh no. So I mean, I was a bit underwhelmed, but side 1 really put me there, right? So I was like, yes, this sounds great, you know. Side 2, that's kind of like, that I think there was a bass solo on side 2, and I was like, this ain't coming out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Something on side 3 again, act 3 was not there for me. But then side 1, side 4. So then
good bookends.
Yeah. So I kept on playing it, and by like the 3rd, 4th listen, I was like, okay, you know, I'm very happy. You know, if Chad's mission was to dissuade me from the Pretzel Logic, the Asco, UHQR, then he's done it, right?
Hang on, Jason? Are you creating controversy and saying that Chad was sitting on this release and there was such heat from the Pretzel Logic blow that he just, because I'll tell you what, I mean, he announced it last week and it shipped. Hell, I think I got a shipping notification Thursday evening.
Yep.
I mean, high marks to the folks in Salina. Thank you, David. Salina, in that they turned this thing around quick. I mean, especially compared to how long the Steely Dan stuff's been like taking and pushing back. And maybe this is why Asia got pushed back from late September to October. Who knows? I don't know if you give my man Chad a lie detector test if he'd own up to that. But the timing was interesting. Exactly what we said earlier. The fact that they just released Pretzel Logic in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and then boom, hey, Love Supreme ships Friday. Like, okay.
I can neither confirm or deny controversy. That's not the point, you know. But if it was, then you know, plan, mission accomplished. You won me back, Chad. You won.
Okay, so Love Supreme has won you back. Is that that's the byline? Okay. Yes. All right. I would agree with that. I would agree. But I also I think Pretzel Logic for a novice Steely Dan fan like me, I thought it was fine. Like obviously Ricky Don't Lose My Number is like arguably the signature track on that album. Is that safe to say? Would you agree with that?
Right. The thing is, like, maybe I shouldn't do comparisons. Like, if I didn't have the
R.I.P. Stunty
video, as we know, I think Vinyl Community Casting has already put their mark on it. But what was I going to say about this? I forgot. If you weren't comparing, right, and you listened to Pretzel Logic, UHQR, I'm pretty sure you would think this was the best thing since sliced cheese, right?
Well, so I'm that guy. I'm that listener, and I thought it was fine. I thought it was. I did not think it had as much top end as what I noticed from Can't Buy a Thrill. And again, not an audiophile. Again, not somebody who has like tube amps and that sort of stuff. I just have my setup, and that's what I compare everything to. That's why I'm very reluctant to do quote unquote shootouts, because I know you can get a lot of scorn because, oh, you only have this turntable, or you only have this cart. Listen, I keep all the variables the same. I listen to them right back to back, same setup. I will say, and this is we'll call this a deep tease. When I was comparing my OG Love Supreme to the UHQR, I played the UHQR yesterday, like we talked about, and I noticed when I put on my OG, because I still had it on my turntable, so I put my OG on first because I always start with the original and I kind of go through it.
Okay.
When I put my original on, it was loud, so that told me that was already aligned, because where I had my volume setting for the UHQR. When I put the OG on, it was super loud. I actually had to turn it back a little bit because it so that already told me, and it didn't ruin my experience, but I was like, okay, the original's already punching me in the face, whereas the UHQR, I had to get it at about the 3/4 mark on my knob. But so anyway, well, let's just get into it. So you said the bookends, the middle is kind of lacking, but it's partially, you think, because it's not you're conditioned to the mono cut.
Yes.
Okay. Well, as somebody, and again, jazz novice, I only got my OG of Love Supreme in the fall, and when I listened to it, it was remarkable. I enjoyed every piece of it. It's everything you want, right? It's RVG, Coltrane on Fire, great. I thought that was the standard. And I still do. Spoiler alert, I still do. And it's not just because of the whole volume thing I just told, but you know, I was excited in the sense that since they were doing this at 45, that literally each track has its own side. I thought that was actually pretty neat, right?
Yes.
And I do think that the UHQR benefits from having that space to kind of play with. But if you got a gun to my head, which is better? I give the OG a little chef's kiss. Now I know I've already seen one review today, and I'm not going to name it, who said they felt the other way, and that's fine because I could see how you can make both marks. But now I did listen to Chad's 33 he put out 2 years ago.
Yes.
Next, that's like Junior Varsity. You got the OG and the UHQR, and then you got the Junior Varsity. I didn't have time before we got together tonight to listen to hang on. Jason, I hope I inspire you because I know you don't like showing records and stuff, but I have a 74 reissue. I didn't even bother with that.
Wow.
And then I have this Mag Daddy Walmart issue, the blue vinyl, because color variant, #color variant. Didn't even bother with those. I just left it to the UHQR and the OG, the beautiful, beautiful OG, and then Chatty's 33 from, I guess it was 2 years ago. But anywho, so ding, ding, ding. I think the OG. Listen, I'm not saying the UHQR is bad. I'm not saying it's a steady, and it's got good punch, and it sounds. I can hear the separation. All the things you want a UHQR to have, this has. Is it better? Did Ryan K. Smith best RVG? No, come on. And again,
well, no. Like, tell me why did the OG was better? You said it's punchier, or did you hear more instruments? And you have the stereo, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then was the horn not there for you?
I'm gonna be honest, and I'm the last person who should be saying this, but I'm gonna say.
Well, I'm trying to help you articulate. You
yes, I feel like the horn was right in front the entire time on the OG, with the exception of maybe a couple little nuances. On the UHQR, I think exactly what you said about side 2, the second. Like, I could feel it was it was there, but it wasn't like, I didn't feel like it was literally like
you should be. I'm serious. Side 3, you should be pummeled by the drums.
Right. Hey, listen, Jazz Mama, I'm not trying to start a controversy. I'm trying to help Chad out. He's trying to appeal to idiots like me with 0 credit card balances who just buy things on a whim like this. So I'm his second favorite customer outside of completists. But
you should invite, if Jazz Bum's Mike wants to come up and defend Chad, you're more than welcome to defend Chad. I mean, if you're not on his payroll.
Yeah. Oh man. So let's see what Spins Vinyl, good friend Jason, what's he say? There's so many Jasons now. There's Jason Rojas, who's right here. There's Jason Spins Vinyl. There's Jason Arsenal from Canada talking about starting a channel. Side note, is Jason the new Michael in the vinyl community? What say you, Jason?
It could be. I don't know.
So Jason, when people say you only have to have this turntable or a card, it's nonsense. Yes, sir. Most people have low to mid-end turntables, so it makes sense to test for that. I agree with that. I knew Brad was going to come at me at some point. I knew it. You got to live long enough from the hero to become the villain. I understand that, Brad. This is the assignment, and I totally get it. Let's see what else we got. Boy, Stunty, this snake biting is really just it's commandeering the entire community. So here's a question, Jason. Do you? I already know the answer, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Do you regret the purchase?
No.
Okay.
I enjoyed it, like I said, but it took me,
multiple listens.
Yeah, to the third, fourth, and I don't have my OGs with me. I only have the Acoustic Sound series, but I just go from memory. Again, could be shaky unless I compared it. I may share the same view with you in like 3 months that the OG is better, but I think, again, if you were just wanting the best version, right, and you didn't want to spend, people are charging, I don't know, what, $700. I went to a store once and they were charging $700 for an OG of Supreme, and it was in G plus. And I looked at my friend. I said, I'm not sure if I should cry for me or cry for everyone at the store right now. Like, what's going on here?
No, actually, Jason, you raised a very interesting point. I thought this when I was listening too, is like, okay, $170 all in. It's nothing to sneeze at. Sure. But to your point exactly, that was where my head went when I was listening. It was like, if you don't want to buck up for an original and like a top tier original, this is by no means any slouch. This is like, if you can get it. If you don't want to get the OG, or you're like, hey, exactly what you're talking about, I don't feel like spending $400 or $500 on a record. This UHQR is perfect. It's perfect for you if you can afford it. If you want to do, and again, I'm not calling the 33 that Chad did 2 years ago a budget copy, but there is a difference. There is a difference.
You called it Junior Varsity.
I did call it the Junior Varsity. Yes, I did. How is that?
Tell me the difference. Why was that Junior Varsity versus this?
Well, sometimes back from athletic days, sometimes you could play junior. You'd start on Junior Varsity, but they'd bring you up for the varsity games and you just sit the bench, right? Okay. And I feel like if you have a varsity caliber copy, be it an OG, be it the UHQR, I think they're both varsity level copy, varsity starters. The 33 is a nice, I'm on varsity sometimes kind of copy, but you're really starring at the junior varsity. It was missing. Especially if I had never heard the other two, I probably just would have thought, oh, it's a nice recording. But once you hear that there is a next level separation from, again,
really,
I feel like there is. Yeah, I feel like there is. And in fairness, I played that number 3. I played OG UHQR because that was really, I knew what the bout was. Mm-hmm. And again, this was only one play, so in fairness, maybe my opinion would change after a couple more listens. But the 33 was a clear number 3, and again, didn't even try the other two.
Can you highlight Brad's comment now?
Brad's coming after me, I'm sure.
No, he's not coming after you. So
no, I don't.
Now, Brad, this is very controversial, right? Why would a person do this, right? The Acoustic Sound series is supposed to be a budget thing,
Well, Jason, let me read from the sticker because I do. I'm that kind of collector to keep these stickers. And it says the Acoustic Sound series, audiophile vinyl reissues from the world's greatest jazz labels, mastered from the original analog tapes by top mastering engineers. Okay, so was this a Bernie? Do you recall?
I remember it's Archaea.
Okay.
Smith. I think.
Oh, this one is also, so they're both. So the UHQR.
So that's why I was asking you, trying to get it out of you. Why was this Junior Varsity? I mean, Brad, let's face it, this isn't mastered by, the Waxed or some person who's only, never mastered a record before. Let's get that off the table. Like, this is Ryan K. Smith we're talking about. The hype sticker that Chance read says, experienced mastering engineer. This wasn't, But so that's the big deal, because that's not even on the Hoffman forums, there's a lot of wishful thinking and rumors, but Chance, you just heard it. That Acoustic Sound series is mastered by Ryan K. Smith. The UHQR is also mastered by Ryan K. Smith.
So that's a very good counterpoint, Jason, because then does it become a matter? I'm assuming he did something different, or you'd think. Is it really the runway of the 45 that gave it the extra body? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would assume he didn't just master it once and then put out 2 different versions. I don't know. Okay. I'm far from a mastering person.
Well, I think you would do that, right? You wouldn't want to just, hey, I got you that DVD, right? But I just burned that copy of the DVD, so I just put it in a new case. How do you feel about that? Again, that is not a sound business proposal. So Brad, to be honest, devalue, I don't think so. In some ways, people can't afford the UHQR, so they'll buy the 33 acoustic
right, sound. And no shame in that game, not at all. All right, now we got a controversial figure coming up here. This is, I don't know if I can deal with 2 OBCers on the same screen. Is this?
I think it's okay.
Is okay, because listen, I don't want to get any kind of ill will, or I don't want to be in a controversial light. I try to be like Switzerland in all these matters. But now I'm outnumbered. I don't even have a side, but we got 2 OBCers here. Nick, how you doing, pal?
Good. How's everybody tonight?
Good,
All right,
good.
Nick.
How's your Sunday been going?
Got a lot accomplished. It's been a crazy week, but it's the week's winding down, and now I have 3 hours to enjoy, and we'll get back to it in the morning.
Well, I don't know why you're here. I'd be enjoying it with a nice cold adult
Well,
beverage and
well, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I listen to music, spend
all
time
right,
with the missus.
I
Right
appreciate
now, I'm
that.
cleaning some vinyl I pulled out of a box that I hadn't seen for a while. It's surprising stuff, so it was nice.
Okay.
Uh, I'm looking at. I did not make the purchase. I
Okay.
have a couple of copies. For that record, for me, it's not at the top of my list. My version's good. I have the Junior Varsity, and then I also
Listen, if
have
they want
a.
to use that as a marketing thing, feel free. If they want to put that on a new hype
Well,
sticker,
I
knock yourself
also
down.
have what's the one that has comes with the two discs. I think that's the mono and the stereo.
Yep.
So, and yeah. So anyway, and those are good enough for me. The one that just came down. The only thing I can think of him laying it out now, because he's done it a couple times now, is that is he at the end of his contract with that those tapes? And if he is he trying to ruin it for anybody else who ever might want to market it by putting out the best copy that will or may ever
I
be?
love this. I love the
Now,
strategic insight. I like this because this is right up my alley. Now we're talking about he's trying to. It's like when you go out with that beautiful woman and you just don't. You know it's not going to work out, but you don't want her to be with anybody else. I like it. I like it.
I'm the new standard. I'm done with you, but I'm the new standard. So good luck living up to that, right?
No, it's a fair point, Nick, because contractually you do wonder because I think, and people can correct me because I'm wrong more often than not. Usually it seems to go UHQR then a 33. This feels like it's the opposite. Again, the 33 came out 2 years ago, and here we are at the UHQR.
Right.
So,
And I'm happy with the first pressing. Of course, I heard his latest, and I'm sure most likely is better. But to me, the value wasn't. I'd rather consume three other records that I want versus
fair enough.
that one. You know,
Yeah, totally get
now
it.
I've spent my share of dollars on the high dollar records, the ones I wanted that I thought, and this just wasn't one of them for me. You know, and but like I was saying, getting back to maybe he contractually he's at the end of it, and he just wants to make sure that he presses enough of them that he'll be able to sell them for quite some time, and he feels that he put out the best product that can be. And if you
Yeah,
want the best product for that music, done in his mind, and a lot of other people's minds that have reviewed it.
yeah,
Others,
totally agree. Like I was saying
maybe not.
before, I've only seen one other review on it so far, and I can totally understand why somebody would say the 45 is better than OG to them, right? I don't
Mhm.
think it's like a night and day. I think like I just know, and again, I think I'm also conditioned to really admire Jason, you're better at math than I am. 60, almost shoot, 60-year-old record, right? We're coming up on 60 because this was
Yeah,
done it was released in 65 January, recorded. So yeah, so we're coming up on 60 years. And obviously, I mean, RBG is like the man, right? Like I don't think anybody would disagree with that. However, you're raising a point, Nick, because I think if this is the out there and we were talking about earlier, you don't want to pay hundreds, plural, hundreds
right.
for an OG. Like there's no shame in this game. Like I think the UHQR is where it's at.
I
Nick, I
have
think
quite.
your point is very controversial.
Well, of course it is because I took a risk and
Yeah.
making my statement, and that's okay. You can agree with me, not agree with me. It doesn't really matter to me. It's just my opinion, and we all have them, and everyone has the right to it, and that's okay. Like I was saying, that wasn't the record for me. I have a lot of OGs. I found a few OGs that I didn't know I had. I had purchased a a repress of Rush Moving Pictures, and I go digging in a box. I pull out an OG, and it's spotless. And I'm like, what? I wasted money. Now I have a repress that needs to be gone because the OG is just spotless. And
Sure.
I pulled out, who was it? Donna Summers, 73, 75. Don't know where it came from. And I played it back, and it's as if it just came off the press. First thing that came to my mind was, what's her name in Germany?
Nadine.
Soul Disco.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And because she's really into that music. And I'm like, wow, this is, and it has the posters in it too. I'm like, what? And it just sounded pristine. So the age of the music is not so much as who did it to start with, and then how well kept was the record. Because some of these OGs are just impressive. And I've pulled out covers that were, oh, I need to wear gloves to touch this cover, and you pull out the vinyl and you're like, oh, how beautiful.
Sure.
Like, how did that happen even, right? But you don't know till you clean it up and drop the needle on it, and you go, ow, or you go, oh my goodness.
Those are good feelings.
Those oh my goodnesses are so good.
Yeah,
I love they don't happen that often, but when they do, it's like, yeah.
So I got to address something. This is controversial. I see Music Talk with John is stirring the pot. He says, what's up, buddy? Going up against George Button and Mazzy. Listen, I already reached out to George. I already let him know. And as actually Jason and I talked beforehand, I'm going to give Jason Rojas credit on this. Instinctually, I was going to anyway. But Jason's like, hey, if you're a good guy, maybe just give George a heads up. And I was like, you know what? We're on the same wavelength. So I'm gonna direct quote because I don't want to because George got back to me, and so I want you guys to know this is how we talk to each other in the vinyl community. So, as Chad would say, hold on to your pants. I'm about to. Sorry, George, but this was George's response. Direct quote here. This is what I said to George. I want to be very clear because he has a Soundburger, and I did a video about the Soundburger I bought today.
Yeah, I hadn't watched it yet, but I'm interested.
Oh, don't rush. It's not that great. So I said, George, fellow burgerite, just wanted to give you a heads up that I'm doing a baby live stream during part of yours time this evening. It's the only time I'll have to knock out a quick talk on this Coltrane UHQR. Didn't want you to think it was anything other than just that, given how dramatic others are in this community of ours. And you know what George said to me? How could you fuck me like this, Chance?
No, he didn't. Did he?
He did, but I knew instantly he was totally just shitting me. Man.
Right.
Anyway, no, we had a nice exchange, and like George is one. Yeah, he's a great guy. So yes,
that's too funny. It's funny because I was cleaning records and play grading a bunch of them, and I looked down while I was cataloging one, and I said, chances up. Okay, I didn't see that anybody else was on it. Let's dive into it, see what's happening.
You made the right call.
I'm glad I did.
You made the right call, Nick. That was a great call for life right there.
I am now one with the universe.
That's right. You got good karma coming your way. And yeah, Music Talk with John. Listen, Music Talk with John's upset because he does those walk and talks. And
I chatted with him for an hour and a half.
I know you have. Listen, you go up there, you're in his good graces. But I made a little joke because we're buddies, and I went on Rob Northern Revolution's live stream on Wednesday, and I made a little joke, and I said, I hope John is not reaching out for help, and I'm not there to watch one of these walk and talks. But anyway, I have signed up. I will do it. Nick, I'll take your spot on one of these walk and talks one of these times because I didn't notice he was accosted by some Utes. Apparently, some Utes saw him walking around the mean streets of Florida with his selfie stick, and they yelled at him. And I felt unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, how these kids do not respect their elders, and John was a living example of that. Walking, he's just getting his steps in. He's got his selfie stick, and he's talking to the masses. And these punks, John, they're punks. They had no idea your VC royalty, your YouTube royalty. And they yelled at you. And listen, I will come on screen and I will yell at them. I will be the Ken to your Karen any day. Or is it Kevin? Is it Kevin? Is that the female Karen? Anyway.
No, I think a Karen is a Karen is a Karen.
Anyway, so Tugga's got a good. So Tugga 51.1 says geography matters too. In some places, it's impossible to get good OGs. Nick, you would vouch for this. For any price, and then you are really buying online. Sometimes the UHQR is then the better option. 1,000,000% agree with that.
I have a few in the VC that have taken a liking to me. I don't know why or how, or maybe it's just my wallet. I don't know. But that is my line to most every record that I can get a hold of outside of buying new, because the auctions. I mean, I'm the $3 king, brother.
Hey, listen. I give you full credit. I steal your joke from time to time when they start showing records in these different presentations, and I'll just flash $3 up. That's a sign of respect. I hope you know
Pop it up there.
I'm
yeah,
not
I
trying
know
to
it.
steal your gimmick. This isn't like Ric Flair stealing the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers gimmick. Okay. This
yeah.
is
You know,
I'm
come to think of it, I hadn't thought of it. You just might. I'll get you, brother. I'll get you. Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I've done well in the auctions, gotten some great, and I've learned so much from all the guys, you guys, everybody out there. It's a great base of knowledge that we all share, and can't thank the whole community enough for all that. It's awesome.
I agree with that. And Jason, you and I have talked about it. I'll just, not to drop tea or anything, but I think we all agree on this panel that when it's good, and it should be good. There should be no shaming. There should be no nonsense. It should be a welcoming situation. And 95%, even probably higher, is like that. But there's some cookie rookies out there, and it is what it is. That's just like in life, right? But I think by and large, I mean, the thing, it's interesting you bring up auctions, Nick, because we've talked about this on other streams, or I've seen you talk about in other streams, but you're a case point of what we just flashed up there. You're not in an easily accessible area to find these records at your local record store. And, like the people, another example of similar vein, the Walmart people who get Walmart, no shaming on that one, because
that's all I have.
You're right. And it is what it is. And so coincidentally, this from Walmart is not bad. I mean, this was it's a nice copy. Is it, if you really want to get into the nitty gritty, probably not for you, but like I sent Malia one of these cause I had an extra. I'm like, hey, you want to try some jazz? Here's a nice little budget, and
I've heard through the grapevine that the plates they're using.
That's freshman team. Like if you go to a big school, it's a freshman team. But it's the same sport. It's the same.
I heard the plates are pretty good that they were using for that.
Exactly. So there's nothing lacking for sure. Yeah. See, look, Tugga's right. Same plates as the AS, 100%.
There you go. Yeah.
John,
see, I want to know. I retain some of that. Us old folks can still retain some of what they hear.
So Nick, can I pry and ask? Have you ever purchased one of these UHQRs of any of the releases?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Have God, I think I got 2 blues. And what else do I have? I have Clapton. Then the miss is actually sprung for Michael Jackson.
Oh, are you talking about the one steps?
Well, that was the one step, but the QRs by Chad was Miles Davis.
Miles Davis, yeah.
Yeah. And can't think of right now. I think I've opened one of them in Hendrix. I only got the experience. I missed out on the second one and forget it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then some reggae. I was actually I was traveling the day they dropped that. I was on the road and I'm going down the road, getting dropped from tower to tower. I'm like, are you there? And tower, boom, going. I'm like, no. 7. I got home at 5. 7 o'clock that night, I got through and got one. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It was just meant to be.
Vinyl justice, right?
Yeah, I was like, I spent this 4-hour drive trying to get it. And I was like, I should just not even sweated it.
So Music
You
Talk
never
with John.
know.
This is interesting. This, and I'll ask you guys the same question. So Music Talk with John says, I'm planning on selling my Miles Kind of Blue UHQR. I also know you got off of the One Step Muddy, but you also got a bad copy, John. So I wonder, John, maybe you can elaborate. Is that indicative because you're not that kind of consumer, or it just didn't speak to you? You're okay getting the, again, I'm making light of it, but let's say a Junior Varsity production of that title. You don't need what they've advertised. I'd be curious because sometimes like just having a nice copy is just having a nice copy. You don't need to always, I don't know, go for the gusto and especially with these price points. That's another thing we should talk about, these price points, because I'm having a hard time thinking that these are costing $150 manufacturer. Because if you want to break it down by the component, that faux wood box, listen, I'm gonna go all full procurement on this. I'm gonna say that's probably, I'll give them $10. I'll say it's $10. It's not, but I'm gonna say it's $10. Your manufacturing cost, your 2 discs, your all that stuff, your investment, maybe $40. Maybe if the Clarity vinyl is some kind of proprietary thing, and you're still paying that off, and the materials are virgin and et cetera, et cetera. And then you got I guess it's a Stoughton jacket, right? I mean, it's a nice jacket for the actual record inside, right? Hell, I'll call that $5. Let's call it 10. So now you're $60. You got to make 40 points. So let's just do the math. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, $100, right? All in, they get 40. They get 40 points. Manufacturing costs $100. How are we at $150? I'm just now. I understand the license is a part of the equation too. I don't want to short that, but come on. I'm very curious.
I mean, you knew that like this wooden part here was from the Black Pearl. You know, Captain Jack Sparrow was part of the.
Does it?
I was talking to somebody else in the VC today, and the one thing that really at the end chapped my butt was this line. This can you read that? The line there where it says, let's see, does not qualify for free shipping.
Oh yeah. They just started doing this stuff.
That's if you pre-order, you paid for shipping on any of them. And what do you mean it doesn't? Really? Come on. I mean, I'm not that big a nitpicker, but I was like, you're spending $150 for a record, and you already have that figured in. You have to.
Well,
I mean, you have it figured in when you buy, it used to be 3 records or 2 or 3, depending on what you bought. And now it's, 4 or whatever. But
well, let's go back to what we talked about before. That 33, they've already done it. Probably a lot of, same guy mastered it.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the extra cost? Because that was a $30 record, I think, when it came out. Obviously, now it'd be a $40 record, inflation, whatever.
That's really squeezing the rind on that one.
Well, I know, but let's just call it what it is and say like it would be a moderately priced record. Is it really? I mean, you can't. I mean, there's another piece of wax. Yeah, it's on Clarity vinyl, but again, I go back to like your core. I'm giving you the benefit of that. It's $100. You already have, like you said, Nick, the license, the contract has already been written. This was already, you know what I mean? So like you can't, the Steely Dan thing. Okay. From what I've heard, they sounds like maybe it was a tough deal. Right. So I get it. Like I can give you that, but the Steely Dan pushed it from 125 to 150. Now that's the new normal. That's one of my takeaways from this title was like, oh, so now we're at 150. I thought that 150 was just Steely Dan and the license issue.
Yeah.
Now we're at 150. Then Nick, like you said, let's throw in another 10 to 12 for shipping. Let's throw in the taxes if you don't live in a tax-free state. Again, 170 bills. Now, if you want this and you want the best that's out there, and you're not interested in paying 4, 5, 6 bills for an OG, this is it. I think Jason, you would agree with that. I that's how I feel.
Yeah. Yes.
But not all records are that much for OGs.
Agreed. This one's kind of taken on some kind of
yeah. I mean, maybe this one, but I don't know. That maybe that's just another reason why I didn't swing for it. Just the fact that, come on. I mean, if we don't if we just keep letting them raise it, I realize inflation. I own a business. I know,
Right.
but if you're going to take that step from 100 to 125 and then to 150,
Yeah.
And then tack on the little stuff on top of it. It used to be a package, and now you're breaking it apart to nickel and dime. I hate to use that phrase, but that's what it sounds like by the time taxes and shipping.
I apologize, guys. I didn't count this booklet. This booklet has got to be at least $20. This is on Peruvian virgin paper made from Peruvian virgins, and it was painted, hand painted. So that's, I mean, that
by
probably
number
is the difference. That's and numbered, gold numbered.
Advertising.
Here's another $5 piece.
You needed that.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Right.
But to swing back to it, I'd much rather purchase more records. I mean, it's great for the people that aren't squeezing that dollar as hard as a lot of us are, and then there's a market that, that number really doesn't mean anything to them. To us, I'm assuming us, the three of us and whomever else wants to join in, that's real dollars. That's dollars that could be put to other uses and like I said, I'm going to buy 3 other records instead of this one.
Yeah.
Totally. And it might be with them. It might be with them and auctions. Who knows? I can buy 8 more records in auctions. It just depends.
This is what I'm talking about. Finance man. Here he is. Thank you, Arnaldo. I was even being generous with my procurement assumptions.
Well, yeah.
But point is still the same. That
And it's a gamble. Mike, once you press them, you have to sell them. I haven't even
studied my materials. Damn it! Hang on. This is literally leftovers? Oh, you son of a bitch!
All 2022. Are we doing a time warp?
AOL. Hang on. The email is AOL.com. Yeah. How can this can't be?
Is it an 800 number you have to dial into?
I know the website was outdated, but an AOL chat box. Wow. How can they do this? Wow. Yeah, you're right, man. Fall.
Ouch.
Hey, have you ever heard that song from that wonderful movie Hustle and Flow? It's hard out here for a pimp. It's hard out here for a pimp, especially when it costs so much to print these things that I don't know. Like, thank you for raising that to our attention, because I would have never noticed that, because I always consider that just. I think they're just trying to stuff the box so the record doesn't shift around. So they put their junk in there. But
it's funny how detailed you have to look at some of these records when you're cataloging them. I was looking today at a record, and I'm like, okay, well, this over here says it's a special record. I was like, well, why is it special? And then it says there's no numbers on the sides. It doesn't state whether it's side 1 or side 2. And I look in the circle, I'm like, it's a misprint. I'm like, okay. I probably a $3 difference. I don't know, but
sure.
Like, it made it special. If you're gonna ride the special bus, might as well.
Right, Arnaldo he's coming with the hot takes. I like it. I gave Acoustic Sounds to the doubt for the Steely Dan rights. I'm with you, but Coltrane ? Don't that it was costly to get, since they sell ALS at Walmart. Well, kind of proving the point. Arnaldo, thank you. Thank you for speaking the hot truth. Thank you.
There's a lot of hot takes going on this live stream, honestly.
Listen, this is Hot Take Central. I got the oven mitt, but I'm not ready to put it on because I save that for Thursday nights. No, as we do have a presentation coming. This is a cheap plug. Part of the presentation. When is it? So this Thursday is the 17th. Yes, it is.
So the 51.1. I'm with you. I'm out in the woods. I'm 4 hours from anywhere. So yes, sometimes the HQRs are of value. Don't get me wrong. I didn't say they weren't. I stated that this one for me wasn't. But yeah, I'm a gazillion miles from. I can't shoot down the street and go, browsing through, bins of records. What a glorious day that would be. But it doesn't happen.
Oh, Jason, what happened?
You're flagged.
I know.
Push away from the bar. Let's have the keys, Jason. Come on.
Oh,
Look, he's gone.
He's got it. Oh, no.
Oh, picking himself off the floor now.
Oh, my God. So, Music Talk with John. Van Halen is the best album sold at Walmart by far. Well, I think
that first one.
This is how I got introduced to John's channel, because he was the only other person I noticed that talked about that Van Halen box set and the pressing issue on side 2 of Van Halen 1, Janie's Crime, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I took 2 back.
Hang on a second. Arnaldo says, I'm just giving you my professional opinion. I appreciate that. Opinions are like, this language. Arnaldo, can I say that on a television show? Money sign holes. Everyone has No, that's good stuff. No, listen, at the end of the day, Nick, you hit on a lot of points. I feel the same way, that people should spend their money how they want to spend their money. And
absolutely.
If this isn't for you, cool. You want to go and get 3 more records like you're talking about, or if you want to load up like a dummy like me and have all these UHQRs that, do I really need them? I don't know. I mean, I like them.
Do you listen to them? If you like them, and you listen to them.
I have. The only one that's still sealed is the Bold as Love mono, and that's just because it's like they only made 1,000 of them. So in the event I ever get up, because I already have the stereo, because it was like 1 and 2 is stereo the mono.
Right, I missed out on that one.
Yeah,
that's one I would have bought. I looked for, and I was too late to the show. Happens.
Yeah, hey. Listen, vinyl regrets, right? Vinyl regrets. Hey, side topic. Did you get a chance to listen to that Tracy Chapman I sent you? How's that sound?
I love it. It's great.
Cool,
really. Cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah. I sent you a note about that. That was so kind of you. You went through a lot of work to do that.
Listen, I had a good time with it. We have
you had to hunt me down.
We have mutual friends. Yes. But
absolutely. Yeah.
No, that was just one of those records I just had. Like I think I told you in the notes when we talked. I just worked on a bigger deal, and I asked them to throw that one in, and I was like, okay, now I've got 4 copies of this, and then I was like, hey,
that was sweet. I was so shocked, and now my wife, I work with my wife at the restaurant. Sure. When it showed up, I'm like, I have no idea what this is. She goes, now you're getting records at the restaurant. I'm like, oh God. I said, I know I didn't have one shipped there because I can't hide them at all.
No, sorry. That was all I had.
No, it was cool because she got all excited. Well, she listens to music as well.
Awesome.
She's the one that purchased that Macintosh preamp sitting over there.
Oh, yeah. You had tube amp?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm all tubes. I have
love it.
2 Bob Latino monoblock tube amps. My Macintosh preamp, it's tubed. Oh, absolutely. And a Riga turntable.
Nice.
I'm set. I am a happy camper. It was funny. I was using a different system, and a friend of mine let me borrow the Macintosh, and she went walking by the room, and she did it. One lady, she turns around, comes back in, she goes, I don't know what it is, but this music, you changed something and it sounds great. We're keeping it, whatever it is. I'm like, no, honey, you don't understand. She goes, I don't care. I'm like, baby, you need to sit down.
So Nick, we got a charge, and I want you to answer this one. Music Talk with John is muckraking. He's in the comments, is mixing it up. He says Nick is the only married man in the VC whose wife listens to music with him. How do you please?
I have a unicorn. How do I what?
How do you please? It's not plead, it's please. How do you please these charges? Jason, where were you? Just came back. What happened?
And he's gone.
He even changed the camera angle. What is going on over there?
I think he poured himself another one. I don't know. He's all blood. Could you clean the Vaseline off the camera, please? There you go.
There you go. Did we have a spill on aisle 3? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
No! Oh, that's
Luckily, the UHQR is over there.
Yeah, you go.
I heard they're waterproof. Was that not in the liner notes? Waterproof case?
No one wants a wet UHQR box. Let's admit that.
Like you can go swimming in Aruba with your UHQR, and it's like a nice watch. It doesn't get water damage. Like
I heard only the Bob Marleys are waterproof.
Probably.
Or you don't care.
Nick is the only married
but-
man in the VC. That's probably not too far from accurate, Chauncey.
Yeah, I have a. Matter of fact, she has actually helped me analyze headphones. We used to be in a headphone group, and she helped me write an essay on a couple sets of headphones as well. So
Oh, good.
yeah, I married a unicorn. Yeah,
Good for you, man.
I am blessed. Matter of fact, she was bidding on one of Mike Esposito's whatnots. She dropped $100 bill on a Stones record. I was like, "Are you crazy, woman?"
Oh,
She goes, "What did I do?" It doesn't matter now. It's yours.
wow. Got him, man.
Yeah. So when it came in, she listened to it. It's funny. Yeah, I'm blessed.
Well, let's go ahead and put a bow on this one. The last question I have for you guys is the future of UHQRs. I know the Steely Dan stuff. Obviously, we talked about Asia coming out here in a month's time. But am I the only one that I really need to be inspired? I'm really looking for something. And I know I did watch the conversation between Mr. Ludwig's and Mr. Kassem. And Chad basically said he's making the music he wants. He doubled down, he tripled down on it.
Yes.
And so on one end, I can appreciate that. On the other hand, like somebody asked him a Kendrick Lamar record. Jason, that wasn't you, right? I don't think so. I didn't think so. No. But I think the point was still the same. It's like, hey man, can we get something made in the last 30 years as one of these kind of titles? And Chad basically said eat a D. And okay. He wants, and it's his company. Respect. Get it.
Yeah.
But man, I go back to that.
Add to that.
Day. Well, yeah. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
Well, number one, living the dream. Great for Chad. His company, he's making a living doing what he loves to do, pressing the albums he wants. God bless him. I mean, that's great. Have nothing to, but I knew a man had a bar and he had music. And it was a very successful businessman. And one day we're chatting, and it's like, you really like this music they're playing? And he looks, he goes, I can't stand this music. He says, what? He says, I can't stand this music. He says, well, why do you play it in your bar? Then if you can't stand it, he says, the music's not for me. It's for my customers. If the customers aren't happy, I'm out of business. So, there's two different schools there. But
Totally get it.
Chad's
Totally
living the dream. God bless him.
Arnaldo, you're right. Listen, I'm not going to bet on this. Is a bet I wouldn't take. It is going to be more jazz and blues. It's probably going to be Muddy Waters, folk singer, or something that's been done.
You're a little late to that one.
I really think it's going to be Lightning Hopkins.
Lightning Hopkins takes a shit in the woods. Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait.
Hey.
Oh, look at this guy. Hey, listen, I heard you were over at the George stream dancing on us. Dancing and
hey, Mazzy.
Karate chopping us. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, actually, Mazzy, I'm glad you bring this up because I had you on the hook. I thought you were coming to Austin, which is where Jason is now residing, so he was already coming. But I thought I had you on the hook. I thought you were going to join us for the soiree of all vinyl community soirees. And as soon as somebody threw out that New York show, you jumped off my hook faster than any garfish I've ever caught. Come on.
Yeah. So Mazzy, I will be there. Arnoldo's a good friend, so I'm pretty sure I'll meet up with you guys.
That's awesome.
I would have done it as I told you and Arnaldo. Like, unfortunately I have a vacation already planned for that time. Plus, I'm already coming off Austin, but I'm sure you guys will have a great time. I'm sure there'll be many records to be had. And yes, next. Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna hold you to it. I try to go once a year, but I don't know. You may have soured the experience now that you're not going to come, Mazzy, and give us tales of regalia.
Chance, I wouldn't worry because I'm pretty sure Mike Esposito will be at the Austin show. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Listen, I don't know if the two of us can be in the same room. The women may faint from seeing two bald, bearded guys in shorts. I mean, literally, there could be a.
Oh God! I need to sleep tonight. You got to paint that picture. God.
Send the news crews and send the medic tents because if me and Esposito are in the same building at the same time, I can't control what happens. My pheromones mix with his. It's gonna be crazy. Jason, this is actually a spoiler alert. This is hang on, this one is number UHQR 00745. The Lightning Hopkins takes a shit is 008-2. See what I did there? -2. Oh man, we're running on fumes. Fumes. All right.
Lord,
good stuff. All right. Well, Nick, thanks for jumping up here, and Jason,
thanks for having me.
Good talk.
Good to see you, Jason.
Again,
we'll catch y'all.
Final thoughts, Chance. Right. So UHQR, you said second place. OGs.
Yeah. Listen, I think it's like 2000. Here's a good analogy. Look, you can look it up, guys. 2008. I believe the Sydney Olympics, and there was the 4x4 swimming relay. And Michael Phelps needed USA to keep him. He wanted to break Mark Spitz's record, right? And the French team came in there and said, "We're going to smash the Americans." And they had a good squad, but you know who won? USA.
That's it.
USA. So that's my analogy for this comparison. I don't know what it means, but I just watched that the other day, and I was really taken by what happened there. But anyway, yeah, no, I think, listen, spend your money how you want to spend your money. I think they did. This is a really good title, and they did really good job. Oh, hang on. So Jason was telling me a little bit. We'll close with this. So what is this record that you just picked up? I'm gonna make you big, and then we're gonna wind it down.
So to me, if you're not into UHQRs, the Neil Young Chrome Dreams just came out on Friday, and this is awesome. This is great. A third of the cost of the UHQR, I believe.
Where'd you pick it up at?
I just picked it up on Amazon. Like I was.
Oh, no kidding.
And I was just like, you know what? I have an Amazon gift card. This is mine. You know?
Nice.
And the cover's done by Ron Wood. So.
Oh, right.
So you can see it's a car, right? Chrome Dreams, get it?
Yeah.
And a headphone. Yeah. Wow.
So it's pretty cool. It sounds good. I was playing it earlier, and Chance was like, "Can you please turn that down? It's really loud." Of course.
Listen, in fairness, he was dancing like Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs. So I was like, "Hey man, can you cut that out because that's can't do it."
So Chrome Dreams.
Okay. I'm assuming that's like from the official, like Neil Young, like.
Oh yes, of course. Official Neil Young source. Let's see if I can get this better.
Look at this. Oh, yep, there it is. Big letter source.
I know, right?
This is what they need, because they need.
It's reprise.
Reprise, yeah.
It's on reprise, yeah.
So I mean, and you know what, Nick? In a way, like if Chad was, needed some more options, call this guy. He likes audiophile pressing.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
I'm pretty sure he would love a UHQR, right?
Yep.
UHQR harvest probably sell out in a week.
Easy money.
Would it take that long?
Yeah. No.
That might be. That would probably be Bob Marley's pressings.
Well, listen, I think Jason, you just made a love connection. I think if Chad is willing to take that guy like Chuck Woolery, we'll be back in 2 and 2.
Are you old enough to remember Chuck?
Hey, listen, I'm young. I'm old enough to know what I'm doing, and I'm young enough to do it for a long time. Just remember that, Nick.
It's not on the street, what I've heard.
All right, guys. Good hang. Good talk.
Peace. Thanks, y'all.
See you guys soon. All right.
God bless.
Later.
Good night.